Oh yeah, man. Famous cartoonist Art Baltazar. As you see, Abraham Lincoln is with me, and we are watching, and you are watching. Famous cartoonists draw at night. They draw at night by night. We're all here together, man. Buy their comics, buy my comics, shop.
Welcome to Cartoonist by Night. I am Anthony. I am joined here with my Cartoonist by Night friends. We have Matt Rodgers and Troy Dungara. How's it going, guys?
Good.
This is going to be one of our non-themed episodes, but we like to call the three-for-all because there are 3 out of the 4 Cartoonist by Night members. That means we get to talk about anything. We get to draw anything we want. So that is a setup for the show, and we're just going to dive right in and have fun. We see Matt Rodgers is drawing happy because I think that's all he does. Is that all you do?
Pretty much, yeah.
Matt always likes to jump the gun and start drawing before the recording too. So
Yeah.
This has been quite enjoyable to watch it happen. Too bad the folks at home can't see it from the beginning, though, huh?
Well, I have to start a Patreon where it's a 24/7 camera with Rodgers. So.
There we go.
Oh no, I was
all right.
Joking.
So start with an oval.
So
hey everybody, it's the time for the lesson.
I need to branch out.
Today I'm drawing
what should I draw today?
I don't know. What should I draw today?
I'm wondering the same thing. So if people are avid watchers of Cartoonist by Night, I like to do my pencils ahead of time just for my own skill level, and so I'm not spending 2 hours just trying to figure out how to pencil something. So over the course, since we've been doing these episodes, I've just been drawing more and more. I have so many pencil stage drawings. So I have like several Muppets to choose from. I have a special gift that by the time this episode is out, my friend will see it, so I won't be spoiling if I did it here. I've got some Weird Al stuff. I got some Batman. I got some Spider-Ham. So I'm just trying to see what kind of mood I'm in. But Troy, how are you going to start deciding what the heck are you going to draw?
Well, I like what you just said about Batman and Spider-Ham. I like both of those characters. So I might do that. What are you doing, Matt?
I'm looking around my room right now for like inspiration, and I'm surrounded by Happy Astronaut stuff. So I'm just like,
He's going to draw a Mountain Dew bottle.
Yeah.
And a box of Christmas.
Cans.
He's a can man.
I got a Happy Astronaut drawing that I did.
Yeah.
Now, people watching this, go back and check that out. We see that alongside the other art we showcased. Unfortunately, you weren't there for the hangout celebrating Happy Astronaut, but your art was shown to represent your absence.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to have missed that. I had a out of town thing, which turned out to be really wonderful. Got to go see some family members that I've not seen in a very long time. So it was really great.
Definitely a worthy excuse. The only thing I have to mention is that you won't be seeing your Cartoonist by Night paycheck because you weren't on that episode. So, because everyone, you've all been getting paychecks, you won't get one for that episode. So.
You know, I really count on those.
I know, but we have to teach you a lesson. You have to choose family over, Cartoonist by Night. A couple of guys you just met recently. So.
Guys, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you might lose.
Oh no! That's great. Well, I just did something in Procreate that I don't know how to get out of, so I have to restart it here. All right. So yeah, as we hang out and draw, figure out what we're gonna draw. There's always a couple topics I have in mind. One of them, I think, especially for Troy here, because you went to Tidewater Comic-Con. Was that in May now, or that was the month of May? I think.
I think so. Yeah.
This
Sounds
episode,
right.
this episode will probably be out in July, I assume. But yeah, so you went to Tidewater Comic-Con, and was that your first time at that convention?
First time tabling at the convention. I've been there once. I'm a Spider-Man fan, so Ryan Otley was there,
He's awesome.
and I'm an all things Craig Rousseau fan, and he was there.
Yeah.
So Craig Rousseau is like a super, super nice guy, but also I really like his style of art. He doesn't do like solid blacks much. He does a lot of I guess like hatching where the blacks would be. I just really like his art. So he was there, and I went to go visit them that one time. But this is the first time I've ever tabled, and it was cool because Art Baltazar was there, and Dan Parent was there. Both of them were super cool guys, very, very nice. And actually, Anthony, I brought my copy of the one that you're in, and I got him. I was gonna get him to personalize it to you because I thought, well, because you didn't know when you saw him at C2E2,
Yep.
you didn't know which one. You wouldn't have had the chance. So I started to talk to him about it. He's like, "Oh no, I already included when I sent him the artwork he bought. I included a personalized copy." I'm like, "Oh crap! Well, I can't do that nice thing I was thinking about doing. That's a bummer."
Yeah, that would have been a nice gesture, but yeah, he already beat you to the punch.
Yeah, he did. He's a nice fella. I like him a lot.
Definitely.
And Art was about as warm and kind as any person can be. His uh, his entrance. So my son has taken most of the All Yeah comics that we've gotten, and we got a whole bunch of them from Franco. And my son has a like a binder full of them. So he's a fan, and he knows about art, and he saw art, and I saw art at the same time coming into the con, and we had already seen where his table was, but he wasn't there yet. So my son runs over to him. He's like, "Are you Art Baltazar?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Art Baltazar." He's like, "I'm Eric. Come on, I'll take you to your table." Grabs his hand, like shakes his hand, grabs his hand. I'm like, "Shoot, dude, Art Baltazar just stole my kid."
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's gonna steal your kid, I mean that's a good choice.
Yeah, but it was kind of cool though, to see Eric kind of geeking out a little bit over
Yeah.
a creator. So
Especially
and it was and he was so personable and warm, and I don't know if it's because I've been listening to that audio podcast of theirs for so many years that I feel like I know them a little bit. Um, but it was weird. It was like I'd known him for a while. So very nice guy. And then the promoter knows that I'm a big fan of Keith Giffen, and Keith Giffen was I didn't know this, but he was living in Virginia Beach. So he's moved since the convention, but he decided he was going to show up and go visit some friends that were tabling there. So Jim Shooter was there. So he went to visit friends, presumably Jim Shooter among them. and the promoter set up a little introduction, and I got to meet him and talk to him, and it was really neat. So I think I've got a handful of like cartooning heroes, and I met 2 of them at that convention. So it was really good.
And you're talking about, the fandom and everything. About how was it when it came to the actual tabling experience, and how well did you think you did, and just kind of throwing your stuff out there. You had a bunch of new prints and everything, and
I did really well. I sold a lot of prints. Probably my favorite print that I brought, I did not sell a single one of them. I did like a little Archie's horror print, like a fake old comic book cover.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one. But I sold a boatload of like Miles Morales prints, probably because the movie was about to come out. Excuse me. Movie was about to come out.
Whoa, what's that?
I had the same thought, Matt.
So I was debating when to do this, because while I do want to hear those stories, I was thinking I should have just said what I was doing quick, because then I didn't have to interrupt it, but we also could see some other drawing. So we're going to this will be the American Idol break, where it's just like, and we'll find out, the rest about those Spider-Man prints right after the break. So,
there you go.
Yes.
See, you had it at that really awkward angle there for a minute, Anthony.
Yeah, I had it this way because that's how I prefer drawing that line at that angle. So that's why it was sitting there. My friend Leslie, who is the voice of the Happy Astronaut trailer, she submitted several questions for all the big themed episodes we've had. She's a uber geek and a musical, grad and all of that stuff, theater major grad, all that. And so as a thank you, because I was sending her some stuff that I had gotten throughout the years, she should have the package by the time this episode's out. And I decided to, now I'm just going to have to stop this so I can show the card. I did a quick little sketch card of Audrey too, because she loves Little Shop of Horrors and she loves Beetlejuice. So I was trying to think of a cool mashup.
Nice.
And I thought, hey, it would make sense if the snake version of Beetlejuice was coming out of the same pot as Audrey too. So since I did my pencils first, so I could use that as my guide when I did the sketch card, I knew that on one of these episodes, I'm just going to have pencils that are sitting there being like, hey, you know what? I will do that as we hang out. So that is, while I think, I'm pretty happy with this, and this will be in her hands by the time this episode's out. But I know that working on a digital medium is easier and better for me when it comes to details and colors and scale. So I'm excited to do a digital version of this.
I think you did good.
Thank you. Yeah. Good. Yeah, there's definitely a lot happening in a very small card, and so I had to get real, tight with some details. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it, and now we'll see what it looks like when I have the digital freedom. So yes, let's go back to your prints and the Miles Morales prints and the Archie horror prints. Let's go back to your story.
Yeah, didn't sell any Archie horror or a little Archie horror, not a single one.
I would have bought one.
I did a bunch of Miles Morales prints, which I've had for a few years at this point. But I sold out of those. I sold a lot of Kid Slapshot comics, particularly Art Baltazar #1. The publisher was really cool. He said you could sell. That was a what do you call it? Like a retailer incentive that I had, and I just, it's really tough to sell an unknown comic for increased value. So the retailer, I told him, look, man, I'm having trouble selling these. I'm going to be at a convention with Baltazar, and he's like, sell them for regular cover price. Just for this convention, and I pretty much sold out of them, which was great. I think I ended up at the end of the day, I started with like 30 of them or something like that. And I ended up with 10, which I split. I took the last of them over to Art, and he and I both signed them, and I gave him some for the shop, and I took the rest of them. So we each got 5 signed by both of us.
Oh, so they're sitting
So-
at Smoky then, supposedly?
Yeah, yep. You should be able, as long as he has made his way to Skokie, they should be there.
Because I might, at the time of this recording, I am hoping to make it work, but Franco is going to make a special appearance on Monday, June 26th. It'll be long gone
Oh, that's awesome.
by the time people see this episode. But I saw that, and I hadn't, Franco doesn't get to the actual shop as often, but with him wrapping
Yeah.
up his teaching career and retiring and, putting full focus on all the art and all the, and all the stuff that he's got going on. So on a
Yeah.
random Monday, he's going to be at Skokie. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to show up and obviously just to hang out, buy some stuff, and then yeah. So if your print's sitting there, I guess I'm coming home with a print as long as it's not.
Wouldn't it's not the print, it's a comic.
Or the comic.
Yeah. But I need to talk to you after that because I never got one of Franco's what do you call it? Chrome. Is it Chrome? Chrome variants?
Oh yeah.
Hollow foil.
Yes.
I never got one of his hollow foils, so we'll chat after the show. I might have to ask you to pick something up for me.
No problem.
Cool.
Now, during all of this here, not that, we definitely want to hear some stories. We could still hear some stories as you draw, but have you come up with anything yet on to get into the drawing for this episode?
Oh no, I'm still
You're
I'm
just
still without any.
You're just relaxing. And
You do an awesome Slappy.
Oh, thank you.
I know what I'm going to draw now.
Cool.
I'm going to draw Happy Astronaut versus Kid Slapshot.
Ooh, there we go. Well, there's something here that I'm going to remember to show off before it gets warm. I set it down somewhere. Oh, that's right in front of me. Okay, here it is. So at my local comic shop, the owner likes to grab a lot of random like geek related food items, food or drink items that I don't know where he gets the stuff, and it just ends up sitting on the counter, $1, $2. I look at it being like, well, that looks interesting. Sure, I'll buy one. So I am holding an energy drink, which I haven't had energy drinks in years upon years, but I'm going to have one here on the podcast. This is the Good Guys Battery Boost because it's Child's Play Chucky related. So yes,
Awesome.
this is a Battery Boost flavor. It's called, and it's a cherry flavor, which I didn't read the can because I wanted to save it for the show, and it says "Wanna play."
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna crack this open and kind of see what's gonna happen here. I haven't had an energy drink in quite some time. The can is sweating right now, so I'm probably gonna have to grab a towel before I start jumping back onto my drawing. But here we go, trying the Child's Play Good Guy Battery Boost. Very good. Very, very fruity, very cherry, very not tasting like an energy drink.
I'm not sure I've ever had any of the energy drinks. They scare me.
Yeah. This one would scare you extra because it's Chucky.
There's no reason not to be terrified of that
This-
can of soda pop.
I'll compare them to it doesn't taste like a Red Bull. It doesn't have a lot of fizz to it. Maybe just because I don't know if it's expired at a certain time. I've had it in the fridge for a while because I was saving it for one of these episodes. I don't think it tells me, but definitely good. But yeah, it's not giving me like a hardcore like, oh, this is strong or something. It's just kind of a very cherry punch type of.
Gotcha.
I like it.
I like
You
it a lot.
like it? You like it a lot?
I like it. 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 All right.
Rodgers, what you drawing?
I'm doing Happy Slapstronaut.
Nice.
Or Slappy Astronaut, whichever one.
That's awesome. Well, now I don't want to draw a happy and
No, you have to.
Slapshot.
You have
No,
to.
I definitely don't. I really like your art. I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy, and
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling inadequate.
This is a pretty big meet and greet experience for you, Troy, here to meet Matt Rodgers.
Not really.
Oh. Sorry, Matt, I tried.
It's okay. I know what I am.
I know what I am.
You're awesome. That's what you are.
Not who I am. I know what I am.
I'm gonna switch screens and set up the drawing screen, and I probably am just gonna doodle a little bit, get a warm up going. Let's see. I'm gonna have to.
I got excited to draw a really cool line, and then remembered I was on the eraser tool yet, so it didn't.
Let's see. Whoop whoop. That's awkward. All right. Just gonna grab a Sharpie and doodle a little bit.
Cool.
Let's see.
And the point of these episodes here is us just kind of relaxing. We're not having a specific, agendas of answering questions and telling specific stories about a certain topic. So if there's ever any moment of silence, it's just us just kind of in the zone, and maybe people at home are drawing along too. So we're not going to worry about dead air too much.
Your face is dead air. Oh.
Oh, how did you tell? I was wearing this hat to try to cover that up.
I didn't know there was going to be a follow-up question. I don't know.
Yeah, usually people wouldn't, on slams like that, there aren't really follow-ups, are there?
That's how you win.
People just accept
Like I
it.
saw a video of a woman, she was a stand-up comedian, and she's like, I don't like telling men what I do for a living, because I'll be like, I'm a comedian, and then they're like, oh man, it must be hard being a comedian because you can't say anything anymore. And she always stumps them with a, what do you want to say?
I just saw that video. I think it just showed up in my feed, so it's not someone I follow, but yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, it's a weird thing. And then then she go back and then they're just like, oh well, they didn't have like an answer.
Right.
They want to say horrible things.
Yeah, I think there was a follow-up saying just like, all right, what kind of like racist thing are you gonna, do you want people to hear or something? So
Yeah. Can't say anything anymore. Like, yeah, you can.
Say a lot of stuff.
Yeah, comedian Paul F. Tompkins, who I adore, he's commented on that idea too, just being like, oh well, you can't do these kind of jokes or something. It's just like, well, he's like, they're probably not funny. Like you could do jokes that have laughter. You're probably just thinking things that are not actual jokes. They're just, going down the line of, hateful things. So it all depends on how you structure it. So not a platform to specifically be angry.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just need to recognize that the era of shock comedy is over. And you gotta watch what you say a little bit.
And if you want some shock comedy, just play the Operation board game.
That's right.
Did Milton Bradley do that one?
Ah, good old Milton.
Parker Brothers? It's got to be one of the two, right? Quaker? Does Quaker make board games?
Quaker
Like
definitely makes board games.
the Oats Company?
Definitely a Quaker board game.
Yeah. Quaker Oats, the board game. They had to do the board game so then they can make Quaker Oats the movie based off of the hit board game, based off of the hit Oats.
What is this guy doing over here? He's drawing. Whoa.
I'm also drawing Slappy Astronaut.
Man.
And you're right. You're right, Matt. If you only draw 4 fingers, it saves like an unbelievable amount of time. All the time, it's that last darn finger. Takes all the time.
One day, you guys will listen to me.
And that day is now, Matt.
I won't be drawing any fingers today, so I won't. I just have a lot of tentacles to draw, so I won't learn anything today.
Just one less tentacle, and you will see how much time you'll save. Which
is funny because I was probably going to do more tentacles because I had a limited amount on the trading card version. So now on the digital, I'm like, oh, I can. I'll put 4 fingers on one of the tentacles. How about that?
Man, that's a big hockey stick.
Well, I don't have an excuse for that.
Roy's overcompensating for something.
I wasn't going there, but here we are anyways. The road went there anyways.
You can always trust Matt to go there.
It's true. It is the truth.
All right, Matt. About to do some reflections on metal.
Okay, let's see how this works.
All right, I'm going to back it up. So this hockey stick is metal. Light
Okay.
bounces off metal, right?
Correct. I'm doing the same thing. So
it's like a, well, I'm going to turn it this way. It's like a ball dropping, right? Ball drops, hits something, and then bounces.
okay.
Ta-da! That's it.
So when do you decide what you color in black?
Whatever you want to color in black.
See, because I've always done like on, let's say it's a pair of sunglasses and there's a lens. I've always just gone, there's a reflection.
I like it.
And then you have
That works.
You have the tape.
That's not broken. I like it.
Got some specks. And then you got a ball bouncing. And then you hatch. Then you just go crazy and hatch everything.
I mean, you could, sure. Go for it.
Do it. I keep wondering as we're drawing more, doing the show, and hanging out. You know, everything I do is just on an iPad Air, and I do a lot of zooming, not only just for the details and whatever, but just because of the size that I'm working on. But I just keep thinking if I'm working tablet size, how much freedom I would like feel like just to have that full surface visible. I haven't made the commitment yet if I want to do that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have a giant Wacom tablet that's a 23-inch screen, and I still zoom in really far and never really use it to draw that size. I'm always like, all right, here we are in here. And also, if it makes you feel any better, I have an iPad and I have an Apple Pencil, and I never use them really.
Yeah, I just keep wondering, just for when I make certain lines, I'm always just zoomed in so much. I just keep wondering, if I would do that as often, but knowing that you still do a lot of zooming, but
I'm here to make you feel better.
oh well, thank you. I tried making you feel better earlier, but then Troy messed that up and said he didn't.
Did it? I don't remember. Did it work?
I just remember Troy just saying, "I don't like Matt Rodgers."
Nobody
I
does.
don't like what?
Matt Rodgers. You said, "I'm a fan of Matt Rodgers' art," and then I said, "Oh, this is a big moment for you," and then you just shut it down immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You
I
didn't even
do
have to
remember
think
that
about
now.
it.
Sorry about that, Matt Rodgers.
It's okay. I'm fine with it. Excuse me.
Sexy.
The Budweiser frogs, they showed up in one of our other episodes. I think it was in the Happy Astronaut episode. Do we own them?
Budweiser.
Did somebody buy those frogs?
No. Never drawn Happy with this much beefiness before, so this is new to me.
You holding the hamburger or what?
Yeah. Beefy happy. All right.
Where's the beef? Gotta get his stripes. Bam, 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 bam. I tell you what.
Are y'all gonna tell me what? Tell me what?
I really like drawing pictures. Yeah, see, when I draw your character, I'm so intimidated by metal reflections that I give him a wooden hockey stick.
That's fine.
And blue jeans.
Say, and blue jeans?
Mm-hmm.
I give him blue jeans. Don't I give him blue jeans? I do. I think
Sometimes he has like armor.
Boots. Yeah, those are boots though. Like as far as his pants though, they're usually just jeans.
Gotcha. Well, my mistake. Don't let it happen again.
I drew him once, but I don't remember what kind of pants I gave him.
Well, think back.
I could probably just go to my gallery right here, and a gallery that I won't show on air, so that won't be on share screen. But let me find. I don't think I would have showed this on an episode yet. So Miles will take the moment and do it here. Now that I'm getting in the swing of things with just running all the Zoom stuff for the recording, I gotta look in further to see if I can get, what Rodgers has, which is kind of switching back and forth. Okay, here we are. This is what I did leading up to Troy's appearance on the Crimson Cowl Comic Club podcast. I keep the audio up in the feed because I can only keep for a free account, I can only keep a certain file size on the account at all times. And but I've kept the happy episode and the Kid Slapshot episode up there. But then we'll delete, newer ones there just to make room. But then the videos are up there as well. Those will always stay up on YouTube. But yeah, so this is what I did leading up to Troy's appearance, and this is the pants I did. So it looks like sweatpants.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was the most fun thing. Was the last thing I did when I did the little, the little flame, the little boost there on his board.
Rocket booster,
What is it called? Rocket booster.
like a rocket booster thing.
Yeah. So just like looking at whatever brush I used, just to find. It was exciting just to be like, just to do the one swipe and be like, all right, that looks cool.
When you guys work in digital, do you ever like create another layer and make like notes like this was this brush here so that you remember because you really like the other?
I'll let Rodgers answer first there.
I use the same brush for everything. So I don't make those kind of notes, but what I do is I'll like do the thumbnail phase huge and sloppy, and I'll write notes to myself around that. And there are also notes to Fife. And like when we're getting to the lettering stage, because what he does is he makes his scripts, and the scripts are like a rough estimation of what the final product is going to be, because then he'll see my art and he'll like take stuff from it. So he'll like tweak the lettering or the dialogue. So then we always have a meeting at the end. And what I'll do is I will put a layer with extra word balloons that I scribble in, kind of like saying a caveman version of what I'm trying to get across in that.
Uh-huh.
So like if he's making a certain face that wasn't called for in the script, then I'll be like, oh, well, what I meant to have here was this. But I always I bought, what's the guy's name? Friendan, Frendan, I believe his name is. He does brush sets for Clip Studio Paint. And it's like $15 for like 800 brushes. And I spent those $15 and I use one brush, and it is called Consistent Carl.
Oh, I thought it was the money brush. Didn't you use the money brush all the time?
No, that one was included.
That's on an episode that Troy hasn't seen yet, but we talked a lot about the money brush.
It's a good time.
But yeah, you gave that advice because I was trying to draw something. Oh, the chains on like a swing for my Brenna Thumler fan art for Sheets, and that was the last thing I did for her. Where it's really bugging me. And then finally, I just went with something and figured it out, and then troubleshooted and just found a way to do it. But then he was showing me all these brushes and stuff. But yeah, and then you had mentioned that you use like one brush out of all of them.
I wish I had an Astronaut comic with me so I could reference something.
What do you need reference?
Half.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see.
Once he gets it, then I can jump back out. I'm not sure what his screen size looks like when I'm sharing.
Gotcha. Doesn't actually work with what I wanted to do with it, but that's okay. Thank you.
You get the basic idea that he has a TV for a head and a little rectangle box body.
Yep.
But my daughter thought that it was a microwave head. So she's grounded now.
I mean,
I think you should be grounded, educating her on ancient technology.
Right. It's like, we have a toaster oven. Jeez, come on. What is my wife doing? What are you doing?
Written keys
Where are you going?
away.
Are you leaving me?
Hi, it's Rodgers.
Hi.
Hello. Do I have to cut this out?
No, she's clothed.
Well,
You do?
do I have
Just
to cut
letting
that out?
everybody know. Just letting everybody know. That's all good.
No, I was just saying, just for the conversation piece and whatever.
Oh, she has to get used to the fame sometime.
Okay. I just didn't, I wanted to save future Anthony from having to send a message. Hey, I'm at minute 55 here, and
Roger's wife interrupted everything like a jerk.
To my presence.
I wanted to know what you were doing.
It could have been a text.
It's like my daughter also. So I had I can't remember if it was for this show or if it was when we were being interviewed for Keeping It Geekly, but it was well known in the house that I'm busy and not to interrupt me because I'm doing an interview or something. And I look over and she's holding up a sheet of paper. There it is. I don't know if that picks up at all. It says, "Can I have a cosmic brownie?"
who held that up?
It's like, you almost listened. Good job, kid.
Okay.
Jeez.
Good old cosmic brownies.
Hey, man, they are delicious.
I have I could probably go get it for a fun show and tell. I have an emptied box of cosmic brownies that are on a display somewhere. That's going to sound really weird until I show why it's on a display. So I'll be right back. Well,
Is there a Muppet on it?
Yeah, pretty weird, man. Pretty weird, man.
Now the show is in your hands for about 12 seconds.
Where?
Oh man, we're blowing it. 12 seconds of silence.
I was talking to my wife.
How is she doing?
She's good. She just woke up.
Oh, this is going to be. I misremembered how this box looked. So, hanging out with my friend Nancy years ago, it would have been 2014 when the first Guardians movie came out, and she really loved cosmic brownies. And now I'm trying to remember. I thought it was on the box, but she had gotten me some because we went to go see Guardians together, and my memory served that that there was a picture of Rocket and Groot that was taped onto the box. But now I think I just did that probably digitally for an image afterwards. But this whole time, for the last 9 years, since I haven't been like looking specifically at that box, my mind thought that Rocket and Groot were taped onto this box on my display. So I've just had this on my Guardians display for no reason beyond that it's cosmic brownies. But
That's cool.
yeah, it is, in honor of when we went to go see the movie and stuff. But yeah, I the reveal wasn't as cool because I thought it was going to have Rocket and Groot on it, but I think that was just a digital editing.
Jeez.
I'm sorry I disappointed everybody.
It's okay.
You kind of preserved your letdown for all of eternity.
Yeah. So, did someone just get murdered in somebody's background? What's going on here?
Do you get
Kids
to claim
just got
one
home.
less dependent on your taxes now? All right.
Kids just got home from the library and are screaming.
Nice. What color are Slapshot's gloves again?
Red.
Well, that doesn't work for me.
I mean, you're creating a brand new character here. So, whatever you want.
Mm.
Did you guys get anything?
I did, but
What you
the
get?
librarian said that she tried to get you to get one, but he refused.
And Troy,
Sorry.
for future Anthony, does any of that stuff need to be removed?
No,
Okay.
just the librarian.
Just wanted to know for all future kind of recordings if that.
I do appreciate you asking that though.
Yep, no problem. Once again, just trying to make it easier for future Anthony, so I don't have to send a message at some time and then wait for an answer.
Future Anthony is probably the most responsible of all the Anthonys.
Probably.
I
is.
know I, for one, appreciate future Anthony far more than I appreciate present Anthony,
Oh, I would
to
assume.
be honest.
But,
You know,
what's a shame is that he's not going to hear this for a while.
at least 2 or 3 seconds. Okay. I drew. What are we calling him, Matt?
Mine is Happy Slapstronaut. Maybe yours
I
is
drew
Slappy
Slappy. I drew Slappy Hapstronaut.
Slappy hamster nut? Is he a hamster or not? Oh wait.
He's a
love it.
hapstronaut. We don't know what a hapstronaut is, but that's what he is.
It's perfect.
So this is a Sharpie doodle. Not as cool as your digital full color. His he's got like a blaster hand there,
I was gonna ask
and
if
I
you
had
had, like,
already started drawing like some shiny detail on there before I thought, it'd be cool to like make scraps of half end up being that thing. Like he scrapped them. But I missed the opportunity.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's just your warm up.
I'm gonna pause and step out for just a minute, boys.
Sounds good.
Let's
Well,
see.
While he does that, I'm going to jump back into a share screen. For the folks at home who are playing along or something.
Anthony, sharing screen.
Ooh, I'm glad we got a clean cut of that. And then I can get
Is that a Beetlejuice head?
it's the start of one. I gotta do the hair yet, but so I was looking at my own card for reference, but it might be one of those I might just bring up the phone just to remind myself. But yeah, that's that. But I was working on the tentacles. I gotta put in some tiny leaves yet here. I gotta remember.
You excited for the new movie?
I am 100% excited. I'm just gonna figure out the size here before I continue talking. Yeah, I am excited because overall, I'm a pretty big fan of sequels, even if it's nostalgia, decades later type things, and they don't have to be better than the originals or anything. I'm just always excited to see things come back, and Beetlejuice is one of those that I think they've been wanting to do for quite some time.
Yeah, I remember hearing, oh, they talked to Michael Keaton and he says he'll do it if the script is good. I think that was 2014 or 2011 or something.
And I think not too long after the original movie, I think they wanted to do a Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii or something. I think that's a script that was out there.
Huh.
I mean, I don't remember, I'd never read it, never knew anything about it, but I just like the idea just because it sounds ridiculous, and it's probably something that probably wouldn't have been good or entertaining, but I like the idea. I have no idea what this one's going to be beyond having Jenna Ortega on and bringing Winona Ryder back, but I will 100% be there on opening night. How about
Yeah,
you?
I've seen there's some things that like I don't want leaked. There's some stuff that I don't care if it's leaked. And
Yeah.
that stuff got leaked, like some of the like wardrobe pictures
Mm.
just of Winona Ryder. They didn't have any pictures of him yet. And I'm like, he's gonna look exactly the same because
Yeah.
that dude has aged incredibly well and he's gonna be buried under 6 pounds of makeup. So he'll look fine.
I didn't even see that leak stuff, so I'm so far I know nothing.
You guys talking about a Beetlejuice remake or a sequel?
Sequel.
They're making a sequel.
Yeah,
Cool.
they got Michael Keaton to sign on, Winona Ryder signed on, and Jenna Ortega is going to be in it. And the rumor is that I guess is going to play Winona Ryder's daughter.
It would make sense. She was on some magazine at the grocery store. I saw it in the grocery store, and I looked at it, or I looked her up or whatever. She's close to 30. Man, she looks like a teenager still.
Is she really? Jeez.
Really?
I think she's close to 30.
Wow.
I'm gonna look it up. So I'm done drawing.
I would have definitely, like, at most, I would say she was like 23,
Right.
if I were to
I
guess.
thought
She definitely,
she-
yeah.
maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. What's the name? Jenna Ortega?
Yeah. First thing I remember seeing her in was she was in X. That was my first introduction to her.
What's X?
It's a Ty West film. It's basically like a throwback to 70s horror. Group of people go out and they rent a barn and a cabin from a farmer, and they're gonna shoot some pornography. And bad
that's
things
not
happen.
that's the girl from the Addams Family show. My bad.
Yes.
My bad. No, she's 20.
See, and that the weird thing is that's younger than I thought that she would be.
Yeah.
I figured she was like 25, 26.
I don't know who I was thinking of though. Yeah, she was really good.
I gotta watch the second half of Wednesday yet.
I thought
Yeah,
it was,
I like her.
it was good. It was a good show. The only complaint that I have about that show as a whole is that when I go into a production and the name Tim Burton is attached in a significant way, I expect like very specific style, and it didn't really scream Tim Burton to me. Like the set design wasn't really Burton-y, you know, because I think of Sandworms, I think of Nightmare Before Christmas, and spindly, long, skinny, and the art style wasn't that way. So I was like, this doesn't even look like Tim Burton directed it.
Well, it
was
wasn't
a good
animated like all those things you just mentioned.
Well, yeah,
Just sandworms and
true.
speaking
But that,
of sandworms,
Yeah.
I didn't know Tim Burton directed it.
yeah, it was nuts. See, that's the thing. Like, is it worth it for a production company to have Tim Burton's name attached to something if people don't know that Tim Burton did it just by looking at it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have just
Well-
gotten me. They could have just gotten me to do it.
I think you get a lot of people watching just because of the names that are attached to it. Like if they pay attention to the names before they watch it. Like,
Right.
oh, I otherwise would not be watching this, but
Yeah.
it's Steven Spielberg or Tim Burton or whomever.
Right. See, I don't want to come off like I'm super negative on it because I liked the show. It was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Mhm.
weird that they've announced a season 2. Because I don't really know what they'll do with that. Then we don't want to spoil anything for Anthony. But
Yeah.
think of this, like, let's say that they announced that they're putting out a brand new comic and Rob Liefeld's doing the art on it. And then when you open up that book, it just looks like super generic comic book art, but not Rob Liefeld style.
Right.
It's like, well, why'd they get Rob Liefeld to even draw this if it doesn't look like a Rob Liefeld property?
I get where you're coming from. I guess I don't remember enough to. So I think I saw 5 episodes. I definitely saw that dance episode because it kept showing up in my feed, which I enjoyed because I kept seeking it out then. But I wanted to at least get to that episode, and I'll be meeting Christina Ricci in August. So my plan was to finish the show prior to that because I know she's just going to spoil it within the 5 seconds we're taking a photo.
Well, remember to put in a good word for me.
Yeah.
You got a crush on Christina Ricci, man?
I always have. She was like the first female celebrity that made me realize that, oh,
That you were.
that's how that. Because it was when I was also.
Are you trying to say she? Trying to say she kick-started your puberty, Matt? Is that what
I think
you're saying?
so. It was all Adam's Family Values, man. That movie. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, dang. Just then I've been screwed ever since. Like, I am obsessed with Elvira. I'm obsessed.
Okay.
Here's a good one. The first rated R movie I ever saw, I was like 11 years old, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall. And
Okay.
it ruined women for me forever because I was so depressed when I found out that, no, man, they only have 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Two eyes, you're saying, right?
It's just like, man, come on. But no, my wife works at a store. Let's see here. And she picked this up for me. Got my Elvira action figure.
Very nice.
Man, your wife is the coolest.
I have
She
an
got
Elvira.
that. She got me my comic book style battle damage shredder figure.
That's cool. Hey, Aaron, go get the shredder Funko.
They're both babies.
There's in your room, isn't it?
Leonardo figures.
Ah,
It's awesome.
That's
got
It is
some-
cool.
I got some show and tell that's related to both Beetlejuice and Elvira. They have these. I don't know if they're called like tunes or tune tumblers or whatever they're called, but I've got this Beetlejuice.
Love it.
Oh, I've seen these.
Yeah, it's some kind of tune series. I'm trying to think if it's like a NECA thing, and
I spoke with Kirby about these from
Yeah.
Crimson Cow.
so I have that one, and then here's the Elvira one, Rodgers.
Oh, she's the best.
Just that
Ooh,
noise.
she's the
These stand on my my comic book podium from where I host the podcast from.
This drawing looks fantastic, though, Rodgers.
Well, thank you. Got to get my shades in there. There we go. See, when I do my shading layer, I do a, what's the name of this color? Muddy Scarlet instead of black.
Uh-huh.
And I put it on a multiply layer at a 35 opacity. See, here's what it looks like, full opacity.
Uh-huh.
So when you do it on red, it doesn't really turn out too wonderfully, but you can see it. It's there. He's going to
I
be
see
holding
it.
a hockey stick too, so that's why it looks weird right now.
It looks great. Maybe at some point, Fife could be convinced to write a happy Slapstronaut story. So this could be a cover because this is looking really wonderful.
You never know. So far, so good. I'm trying to okay, so what elements of happy would I bring into this? Okay, I think I've melded it all pretty well.
It's got Happy's head, so that's pretty big element.
But it has Slapshot's eyes.
He does.
I was just gonna go to the internet to look at a different picture of Beetlejuice beyond my sketch card, realizing, hey, I have the action figure right here.
Yeah. They just added this whole new feature to Clip Studio Paint. Like, you could always import 3D models before
Mm-hmm.
to use, which I do for Happy's ship. I have a 3D model of the ship that I can pose where I want, and then I just trace it. Don't tell anybody. But you can also do bodies, and you can pose them, and they just added heads. So you can craft an entire head, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, everything about it, and you can make them do different expressions, because this is mostly used for manga. Because it was called the Manga Studio.
Okay.
Something. Then they changed it.
I like your glove. This is mine. Look, I also have a glove. Mine is actually just a glove with some fingers cut out.
I got these are Zents Labs. I think I got a 3-pack for like $15.
I don't know if you can see this, if this is showing up, but
oh,
so that adds a lot of flavor to the artwork when this drags through the ink. It's like a lot of extra spice. You know, it's the stuff that makes it good.
Now you could also use those gloves for Halloween when you dress up as like one half of the Sticky Bandits from the Home Alone franchise.
I'd like to dress up as John Suntress from Word Balloon because I only have one.
Oh yeah.
Man, just got to put a milk jug behind you in the background. All right, what am I doing here? I don't know what I want to do with his legs.
I know you guys were busy drawing yourselves, but whenever I had the camera on the drawing, was the angle too difficult to really see what was going on?
I don't recall it looking bad from when I did see it.
Yeah, future Anthony gets to watch that a little more closely. I wasn't paying attention to that extreme to check on that angle, but when we set it up early, I think it was fine. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't have seen if your hand was. Yeah, I don't think anything was really blocking it, but.
Well, I know it was at a very sharp angle. So I don't know if I'm drawing with a thinner pen, is it gonna pretty much be impossible to see? Because I was drawing with a Sharpie.
Yeah,
you're a Sharpie.
If you're drawing something else, I can definitely.
Okay, I'll draw something else.
That was my way to get you to draw again.
All right, I'm drawing something else. Oh, I took the glove off, but I'm going to put it back on. That way I'll look cool like Matt. I'm drawing.
With me not paying attention completely only means I'm getting a little more comfortable with concentrating as I draw rather than drawing a piece and then having to redo it off air. I'm just kind of guessing.
You don't mind me saying, Anthony, you were leveling up rather quickly.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because I just had this good guy's battery boost. Yeah, it says I was at full power when I started this. So. But no, go on.
Are you feeling super jazzed?
I feel pretty normal, I guess. But yeah, one thing I've really noticed is just how many different things. Like normally, whenever I draw anything prior to Cartoonist by Night, I always start something and I finish it. I never have something that I just have to come back to or I get frustrated on. I always concentrate on that. But now I'm at a point where I'm drawing multiple things, whether I'm doing the sketch card thing and then waiting, saving the pencils for episodes like this, or right now I'm working on a birthday project for a friend, and so I'm kind of chipping away at that a little by little, while also thinking of other ideas of working on another project that we're all
Hey.
participating in.
Shut up.
So I've been doing a
Shut up.
what?
My dog's barking. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just like, wow. I'm like,
Shut up, Anthony.
I'm actually being very vague because I said the stuff that we can't talk about on air. So I'm just like jumping. I'm just saying, oh, we've all been asked to do something like this, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't saying anything. And I'm like, well, what did I say? What did I say? What am I doing?
Don't be mad.
Is Rodgers the host now? But yeah, so I've gotten to a point now where I'm just, I'm doing several things at once, and it's been kind of fun to just kind of be like, oh yeah, I forgot I drew this. I can now go back and color it, or I got to finish this, and so it's been pretty exciting on that front to get myself to a point where I'm working on so many different things. Like that.
I've been the opposite. I just finished up and sent the files off for issue 1. And then I took a look at my deadline for issue 2, and I was like, I got time. So I've just been sitting. I'm really bad at making comics anyways. It's like most people will pencil an entire page or an entire book and they'll go about their business. And I'm sitting here like, oh man, I can't wait to color that. So I just color it. So when you look at my in progress stuff, I'll have a little bit of art on all 24 pages. And some of the panels will be 100% complete. The other ones are like their stick figure phase. Like, I want to draw.
Yeah,
It doesn't show. It doesn't show in your artwork.
Yeah. The one problem is I'll like finish a panel that will have like a certain effect on it, and I'll do it like 3 months before I do the rest of it. And this is probably where doing those notes you were talking about would come in handy, because then I'll be like, crap, how did I do that effect?
Ah, that's right. I let you speak first on that because I had one small note on that where when I was working on certain things and I reached a certain brush for a possible character that I just haven't had time to actually do, but I was getting ready to do it like prior to our show starting. So what I did, I just screenshotted. I loaded up wherever the brush was and the sizes and stuff, and I just made a bunch of screen captures. So basically, I can go back on my iPad regular photo library, and I'll see whatever photo I'm working on, and then right after it, I'll see, oh, here's the brush setting. So if I do need to go back to it, I just have to actually find it within the photo gallery. But that's how I made a note of just being like, well, I'll just screenshot it, and then I just have the information waiting for me.
Cool. That is a good idea.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't had a chance to actually put it to use, but it's waiting there for me.
I'm going to use this Pilot pen. If you recall, in one of the other episodes, I was just kind of noodling around with some pens that I had.
Yeah.
And I realized that I had a very nice one. And so I moved it from the cup full of my my fountain pens. I moved it into my drawing thing because, darn it, if you have a very nice, that's awesome, Rodgers. Putting half in Dilsey's jar. Well done.
Thank you.
So, but I said to myself, well, I even went on Amazon to search for my purchase history to see if I actually, like, how did I come across this? And I actually did pay good money for a very high quality pen and then forgot that I had it, which is embarrassing. So I have, I'm going to use that for a drawing of Dilsey.
I have a very expensive brush pen. It is a it doesn't have any labeling on it. I believe it is a Kuretake number 27. It has
Good number.
the oh, here we go. I can't read that, but it's like a ceramic body, has gold trim, and it is a, what's that hair? That's weasel hair.
Sable.
Sable.
I was
It
just
has
gonna
a
say
sable brush tip. And
On
I
the
even
cap,
bought-
on the cap, does it have something that looks like maybe either like hills or waves?
yes.
See if I can, like this.
Kinda. Mine's solid black and it's worn down. So there's definitely a rectangular logo that is like, because this one it's like embossed into it,
Uh-huh.
and I can't really tell what it was. But I even bought it's called a platinum converter, because this
Yeah,
is
I got
supposed-
this.
Yeah, it's supposed to take a cartridge, and I bought ink and it fits in here. And then I got it all set up and I went to use it and I hate it.
Ah,
I don't like the bristles. They don't have enough bounce back. But the company Pentel makes a brush pen that costs like $15 and as opposed to 50 plus.
right.
And it's the best brush pen I've ever used. And what I did for that is it also uses little cartridges, but I just saved the cartridges and I bought some little syringes and I just re-inject my own ink into those. But they actually have a good bounce back. And then it's like I have all these pens. I was using Tombow Kuretake brush pens that were super fine, and those were awesome. And then I got something that I imported from Japan. Let's see here. Let's see what it's called. Where are they? Whoa, here they are. It has absolutely no English on it. I don't have
No
any
what now?
instructions. There's no English on these. These are like the color turns out weird. It's kind of a teal plastic pen, and it just has gold kanji on it.
Like that?
Yeah, similar. Yours looks a little bit more heavy duty than mine. And I love these are my favorite pens. But the thing
This
that's
one is a Pilot.
is a Pilot Kuretake.
I got some Kuretake somewhere. Jet Pens is a fantastic website to get pens from.
Yeah. See, and then I have the Tombows are called Fudino Suke.
Ooh.
And they're like
Do I have to bleep that out? What did you say?
I think you might need to edit that one, future Anthony.
You need to look up how it's really pronounced and drop that in there. No, the Japanese pen is my favorite pen that I've ever used, but the problem that I have with it is the ink dries slow, and I have never been a smudger ever until I started using those pens.
Right.
So then I had to run out and get some Copic opaque white, which is basically very expensive whiteout.
Yeah.
That doesn't clump up the way that whiteout does. Because I have like those, remember they put out those whiteout pens that you had to like shake up and then you could draw with them, but if you didn't use them, they'd get crusty.
I just got some
Yep.
of those right here.
Yeah. I have those, and I don't like them, but just because they do get crusty. But other than that, they're amazing.
Yeah, we got the big ones here. Just got them.
Yeah, those are awesome. I got some of
You know
those.
what works good for that? Posca pens. Posca pens are like an acrylic pen, acrylic paint marker, and they have a pretty good ink in them, or a pretty good whiteout effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, we're learning all the secrets today. Dillsy, you're a pickle. There we go. And then we got a planet. Butchered that. There we go. Got a planet. Got a planet. Got a planet. Butchered that one. There we go. Got it. Nope, that looks like stupid. That looks stupid. There we go. I'm almost having one of those days where it's like, I can't draw anything today.
Whatever you were drawing before looked pretty good.
Well, thanks. It's like I can just tell it's one of those things where it's taking me just more undos than normal.
Right.
I want to invent a USB keyboard that is literally just the control key and the Z key. So it would be like the tiniest little keyboard in the world, and you would just hook it to your computer and have it sit next to your regular keyboard and just, or maybe combine it into one, just macro it. There's just a giant undo button that you have. Doot. I used to have it programmed to one of my the little buttons on the side of my stylus, and I ended up hitting it on accident all the time. Can't have that.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of undoing when I kept sharing the screen on this episode, and then, but when I like stopped sharing, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, everything's working great. Just that I'm being watched.
Yeah. You're the best. You're the best, Anthony.
Well, that's what I always heard when, whenever I would take Toad in Mario Kart, because then he always screamed, "I'm the best."
Yes, he did.
I do not get that reference.
We have an old in here.
And old. So Super Mario Bros. My copy should be showing up soon. When this episode's out, I would have already gotten it, but in the moment right now, it was supposed to show up right. You know, Rodgers told me that, hey, it's out on disc now, and then
Yeah.
I went to go buy it, and then it was going to show up in like a couple days, and then I got that dreaded email being like, there's going to be a slight delay on your delivery, so now it's going to show up. You know, it's going to be like 2 weeks later, but now I'm at a point just being like, they better not send another email saying, we're refunding you because this doesn't exist anymore.
My son and I saw that at Walmart today.
Yes.
If they do send you that email, your local Wally World probably can fill in the blank for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely get it elsewhere because originally I was going to get it from Best Buy. If I buy any Blu-rays now, they're usually from Best Buy because of the Steelbook. So any of my Marvel movies, and Star Wars and stuff, I get through Steelbook editions. But when there was a month or two period where they put up pre-orders for Mario Brothers right when it came out in theaters, and the date was saying like December 26th, which was an insane date, being like, well, this is like the olden days, you know, back in like the 17th century when Blu-rays came out, you know, a year after the movie. And so I just kept holding off on it, you know, even though I'm just like, well, I should just buy the pre-order because that's just what I do anyways. And then I just kept forgetting about it. And then finally, Rodgers said, "Oh, hey, it's out on disc." And I looked, and everywhere that December date disappeared. And then it was just out. So I went to Best Buy, and of course, then it was gone. So then I went to Target because they had a lenticular cover for their Blu-ray edition. So basically, if they end up not having it, then I just have to just buy it normally. So
My wife
That was-
picked it up last night at her job on 4K.
Okay, I think I'm ready to share some stuff here because I got Beetlejuice kind of where I want them.
Ooh, that's a giant. That's a giant jar. I drew the jar upside down.
It's kind of a jar.
That's all right. It works. I don't know if you guys saw what I just did, but like a dope, I went and rubbed my fingers across it to see if the ink was dry. It wasn't.
That's the best technique I know of.
It was not dry. So
Mm.
throw that one to the side. Dang.
Whoops.
I did the same thing digitally, and I was like, oh, I gotta wait a little longer for it to dry.
It really starts to feel like after a while, digital is the way to go. After so many drawings destroyed that same exact way.
Yeah.
Now,
The
here's
only thing
the
that sucks about it is you don't get that physical object.
yeah. Here is the teeth. I decided I'm gonna make the two top teeth extra large up here. Now that I was looking at it,
Are you going to make them, hey, Mr. Wilson teeth?
give him some chiclets.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Perfect.
I don't know. Should he have Mr. Wilson teeth?
If
This
you
is
have
what
to ask that question,
This is what I wanted to do, where I needed to make. Like that.
It's actually a good segue.
Yes.
At one point, we had discussed the Dennis the Menace cartoon, and so we lived in Columbus for a very short period of time, and I guess times were tough back then because we had just like a little black and white TV, and it sat on a chair in me and my brother's bedroom. And before school, we would always watch Dennis the Menace, the cartoon. And I had never seen this cartoon in color. And we were talking about it, and I ended up finding it for like the low teens on Amazon. And it's a box set of all of the Dennis the Menace cartoons. But each inside of the box set, there's like a thin piece of cardboard with the CD slid into this thin piece of cardboard. So it is
Yeah.
probably among the worst box sets ever as far as like the quality of the
Packaging.
quality of it. Like it's if you don't even have to squeeze it. I'm trying to see if I can get it to show, but
Does
like
that
the
say-
bottom of it sticks out and the thing is bent.
Does that say
And it's brand new.
must see television on the bottom?
It says ready, set, binge.
Okay, because I have Quantum Leap complete series must see television.
Uh-huh.
Same idea. It's just these
It-
cardboard sleeves.
It's awful. It's
So-
awful. We have somewhere like DVD sleeves, and these will make their way into like the little DVD portfolio or the CD portfolio eventually.
Yeah.
I've only watched the first DVD all the way through, but fantastic nostalgia. I mean, Dennis the Menace is sort of a one-trick pony. He doesn't do a whole lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
But fantastic nostalgia. I just really enjoyed the first one. And oh, look, it says on the back, Matt, it says must-see television on the back.
Matt, what does mine say on the back?
It probably is the same company.
Must see television, ready, set, binge. You got it.
Yep, what is it? Mill Creek Entertainment.
Yep. Well,
So
did you see where I talked about my 1010 box set that's like an Indian like counterfeit?
I think that's on an unreleased episode during our timeline.
But I have an Italian counterfeit for the original Batman series because I wanted it remastered for Blu-ray, and I couldn't afford the American version. But the Italian version, it's American discs. It's just an Italian box.
Hey, there you
so
go.
Like if you look on the back of it, it's all in Italian. But you pop it in there and it says play, menu, all the normal stuff.
Oh man. Yeah,
So I'm all about those foreign box sets. If you can get it for $20 instead of $80,
yeah,
I'm all about it.
Well, Anthony can edit this part out if he wants to, or it can be redundant.
Yeah, you could show it. Honestly,
So
it was either recorded or it was just when you and I were hanging out unrecorded.
So this is my giant Tintin set. It's all the cartoon episodes put together in movie format. For some reason, he has brown hair. Snowy is looking kind of strange with Simpson eyes.
A little weird, yeah.
When you put the discs in, the theme song music that plays for the production company is the Shire theme from the Lord of the Rings movies. And when you hit play, it pops up. You know how we have like the FBI warning that pops up? Well, this one popped up with like these photocopied white forms from India for something. Like, they're all over. This is gonna be, see the bottom edge, how there's just like these little photocopied forms.
Right.
Those are all over it. It's insane. But it's legit as far as content goes, but man, it is from Star Entertainment. The max retail price is $2,799. I assume that it's RS. That's rupees, something. Yeah, man, it's like from New Delhi. It's telephone numbers on here. It's totally insane. But it's 905 minutes of Tintin.
That's kind of cool, though. That's kind of cool.
Half price books for like $40. So yeah, that's my counterfeit stuff.
That will stay in the show.
It better.
I approve. I know I sat through that. That made it sound like, oh, I just sit through that again. I listened to you say that once. I just don't remember if that was recorded or just in one of our random hangouts.
Oh yeah. Like, God, Rodgers, won't you shut up about that Tintin set? My God.
No, it's very possible that nobody heard that yet.
I'm wondering now, like, what's your introduction to Tintin? Because I've not really seen any Tintin. I don't know very much about Tintin at all.
Tintin is a lot more popular in Europe. And my dad was in the Air Force. I actually lived in Germany for 3 years.
Okay.
And while I was there, because we lived on the Air Force base, we only got one channel of television called AFN, the Armed Forces Network. And
I am familiar with that, actually.
yeah,
Okay.
it's terrible because it's like, all right, today your mom gets to watch Oprah. Tomorrow she gets to watch Sally Jesse Raphael. So it was like a different array of shows every day. So like one day I could see Ninja Turtles, the next day I would see He-Man, but I never got to see all of those episodes because there'd be giant gaps in between them. So
Right.
my family spent the money to buy a satellite dish, and we picked up England channels.
Okay.
And that's how I always saw Tintin, and that's also how I always saw Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because the word ninja
Interesting.
is not allowed in England.
Guys, behave, please.
So that was
Sorry.
fun. No, you're good. So that's
Rodgers,
how I ended up
behave.
seeing Tintin so much. I also had a lot of Playmobil toy sets instead of Lego.
Uh-huh.
Playmobil was huge out there, and when I would go over to my friend's house and they had Lego, I would be like, you guys are so lucky. Playmobil toys suck.
How old were you around this time, Matt?
9 to 12. So
Fairly
old
formative years.
old enough to wish that I wasn't there, and not old enough to appreciate being there. Because I mean, we went to castles, we took tours of like the Rhine River area, we went to the castle that Cinderella's castle's based on. We went on all these tours of all these cool places, and I'm sitting there like, wish I was at home playing Nintendo right now.
Yeah, that's a tough age to expect somebody to appreciate culture and such like that, though.
Right. So it was, I wish that I would have been a little bit older for it to really appreciate what it was, but oh well. Plus I was there during the early 90s, so Europe is obsessed with American culture too. So like all the famous music, movies, all that stuff came over there anyways. So it's like I was right there wishing that I could wear my pants backwards because of crisscross also. It was just in Germany, that's all.
Literally the only person I've ever heard say that. And I was stateside during that ridiculousness.
It's awesome. Whoops, that's the wrong color. There we go. All right, we're gonna make this work. All righty. So yeah, that's how I got into Tintin. And then I got, because of the cartoon, you know, whenever I would see the comics, I would pick those up too, just because like, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily rare, but you don't really find them a lot. And like I go to a lot of secondhand stores to buy all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And people just don't really trade that kind of stuff in. I know a lot of people have a problem with Tintin because it's a product of its time as far as like insensitive depictions go. But for me, the art style really kind of cancels that out for me.
I'm a fairly big fan of like Edgar Rice Burroughs, and you get a lot of the same criticism there, that it's a product of its time, but you do have to, if you're going to try and appreciate something, try to look at reviews and see, you know, how does this compare, you know, in the time in which it was created. Is this good? Is this garbage? You know,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, the man. Also, by the way, John Carter, such an underrated movie. Me and my wife watched that for the first time like 6 months ago, and that blew us away.
Yeah.
We were just like, why didn't this movie get popular? And then I was listening to Uncle Rob, and he talked about how if your hero isn't wearing a shirt, then it's doomed to fail.
Well, I do remember hearing him talk about that. So, Warlord of Mars, John Carter, all that stuff precedes Superman.
Crazy.
And so John Carter comes from Earth. He succumbs to some sort of a mystical gas in a cave. I believe he's in Arizona, but succumbs to this mystical gas and ends up being transported to Barsoom, which he calls Mars. He believes it to be Mars. And when he gets there, he finds that his human physiology gives him superpowers. So he can jump. He can jump over the tallest buildings. You
Would you
know,
say
he
in a
can
single
run
bound?
faster than, they don't have locomotives in there, but he can run fast. He can jump fast. So Superman is, and the creators of Superman have given credit to Edgar Rice Burroughs for this, but Superman is very much just John Carter of Mars in a wrestling outfit. So Edgar Rice Burroughs had a huge influence over what comics are now, because like the first superstar of all superheroes is a ripoff of John Carter of Mars.
Pardon
And
my dog.
say again?
Pardon my dog. My wife just got home, so my dog had to act like we were getting robbed.
That's all good. She's doing her job, Rolo. Good job, Rolo.
Anywho, yeah. So he's they took influence from John Carter when they made Superman.
Yeah, yeah, and they gave him credit. You know, in interviews, they gave John Carter credit as being a major inspiration, along with like the strongman wrestler type characters that you would see.
Huh.
Like in carnivals and things like that. So, in Superman initially did not fly. He just took great leaps and would leap over huge distances, just like John Carter. He initially was just super fast. You know, all like the flight and the supervision or the heat vision and ice breath, all that stuff came later on. Initially, his power set was exactly John Carter's, just he was wearing a wrestler style outfit.
Huh. Yeah, I know that in the very first, like in Action Comics #1, the way that they show his superhuman strength is they compare him to ants. Because ants can lift so much more than their body weight. So that's
Right.
what they chose to show in Action Comics 1 was, look, this man is as strong as an ant.
That's funny.
Good stuff. Yeah, I've been collecting. I think they're on this shelf over here. Yeah, they are the Martian Tales. They were exclusive to Barnes and Noble, but this one, Volume 1, has Princess of Mars, Gods of Mars, and Warlord of Mars.
Okay.
Nice, handsome book. And then they put out more Martian Tales. This one has, oh, I still have the price tag on here. Thuvia, Maid of Mars, and the Chessmen of Mars. I
Right?
got them for $4.50 a piece.
That's kind of great. I have some very old hardcovers, and they also have a collection in them.
Bunch of them.
Edgar Rice Burroughs' estate, they still run a business called ERB Inc. I believe it's his estate. I know that his estate benefits from it to some degree because a lot of it is in the public domain now, but they do try to make sure that people know what's authorized and what's not authorized materials. But they put out recently some hardcover collections of the Warlords of Mars stuff. So have you read it yet, Matt?
I've read the first 2 books because I also had them in like 60s soft cover, like dime store versions. That's where I got them first.
Oh, Anthony, that looks fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just looking at and digging how these guys. I was quiet while you guys were talking because I was drawing all of these teeth and trying to make it work, and I think it worked.
It looks really good.
I just
Good
wanna-
job, dude.
Thank you. I just want to pull up this eye a little bit as I was looking, but
Great work.
once again, I'm still getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't think there's anything I'm redoing here. So those first couple outings that we did, it just like I would do a version on the show, and then the next day I'd be like, all right, I'll start over and do it in my normal way. And but now when I go silent, it's because I'm just doing my thing.
Back on the Warlord of Mars stuff, there's a website called LibriVox. I listen to a lot of podcasts and everything, but you can download for free because it's in the public domain. You can download a lot of the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff, so you won't just get like the John Carter of Mars stuff and the Tarzan stuff. You'll get like the is it? I don't remember which one. If it's The Land That Time Forgot or the something like that, but it's called the land is called Pellucidar, and it's a really cool series too. But it's essentially people volunteering to read these books on tape.
Oh, nice.
And it's good stuff too. So if you're driving around, because there's so much Edgar Rice Burroughs to be consumed, you know, if you wanted to listen to old Texan dudes read it to you, it's a great website, LibriVox.com.
Yeah, I got rid of the ones that I got in that collection, but I have these. Like this is book 6, 7, and 8. I have the Mastermind of Mars in the little dime store. This thing was 50 cents when it came out.
I have not read that one.
It is what's the date? Printed 1963. I have The Fighting Man of Mars, which is book number 7. It was also 50 cents. And then I have book 8, which is Swords of Mars. And this one is from 1960 through 1979 is when this one was printed. And they smell like delicious old books.
Give me your so my thought on those is that the first book, Princess of Mars, was very hard to read. It was not very good, but it was the setup for the next two that I've read that were like really, really good. Did you enjoy A Princess of Mars, or was it just like, what did you think about it?
I thought it was boring. I just figured I had to soldier through that one because if they made 10 more books after that, then something in there had to be good.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's a case of like, I know a lot of that kind of stuff wasn't written in novel form.
Yeah, they were published in like magazines as shorts.
Yeah, so I wonder if that has something to do with it. Like it just didn't translate well to being read. Like, am I supposed to read this 10 pages at a time every month instead of trying to hammer through it in a week?
Did you read? You said that you read the ones after, right?
I read that one and the what's book number 2?
Warlord of Mars.
It is Princess of Mars and the Gods of Mars. That's what I've read.
I can't hear you, Matt.
Sorry about that. It's the Gods of Mars. That's book 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because John Carter of Mars isn't even that's book number 11, which is nuts.
That's weird.
But yeah, we have I don't know if you guys have stores there called Half Price Books or a store called Second and Charles.
Half price.
I
books
don't.
over here.
They are amazing for finding good stuff for dirt cheap. Like I have like all my Conan books are printed in the 60s and they're all like little dime store versions of those. I even picked up, I've never even heard of it, but the author of Conan wrote a book called The Hand of Cain. It's like a Solomon Kane book that I've never read, but I'll read it for $2.
I like Solomon Kane.
Yeah. This is a story about that from
They did
Centaur Press.
For a period of time, they were releasing those Robert E. Howard books in paperback, like collections. They were really good.
Let's see here, shall we? Is it these ones right here?
Yeah, yeah. I have a couple of those. They have what's the first one has trying to think of the name of the illustrator. But he did Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Mark Schultz.
Yes, yes. That was my introduction to Mark Schultz. He is amazing.
Yeah.
And you look at how he does like the majority of his like ink, or not the majority, but so much of his ink work is done with like a dry brush, and it still looks fantastic. He is amazing.
See, each one of them is illustrated by a different person. Like the, I don't know which one is the second book, but one of them is Gregory
Something Gianni.
And then, yeah, Gary Gianni did the other one. He does like, it looks like he works with a crow quill. Goes a little overboard on the crow. he's like trying to do his best. Oh crap! What's that guy? Bernie Wrightson impression.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, I picked those up. And then I don't know if you guys are fantasy nerds at all, but
Fantasy nerds.
R.A. Salvatore, he did all the Drizzt books for the Forgotten Realms and the Dungeons and Dragons universe, and he has collected all of those books into paperback as well, like big collections.
Who wrote those?
His name is R.A. Salvatore, He also did some Star Wars novels.
He sounds familiar.
Like, I'm watching Anthony and I'm realizing he's a real artist now because I watched him do the same line 7 times in a row.
Oh, I'm on share screen? Crap. Yeah, it's well, yeah, it's interesting when there's a moment I get where I'm just like, I'm just gonna go wild and just do freehand, and then I just kind of like, okay, I gotta keep trying and keep trying. But yeah, I think I got it where I need it to be. But yeah,
That's the one bad thing about digital is you're just
yeah.
like, I don't even have to try anymore. Fill that in.
I'm just looking at some stuff on my sketch card. I'm just being like, all right, are these details that I'm just gonna do when it's all colored and add stuff, or do I do it now? But I just noticed some stuff that I can improvise.
So when you do analog sketch cards and then you just digitally recreate them, or do you like take a photo of them and then digital ink?
So when I want to do a sketch card, the only one that I went I went with, actually no, that's not true. I did a Batman one that I, so basically I'm like, all right, I want to draw a sketch card. Let me get out of this here. Um, let me just go grab them quick. I can show them off.
I'm sorry I made you get up.
That's all right. It's a reminder that I should stand up once in a while too. So what I'm going to show off here are things that I am going to be tabling for the first time at Milwaukee Mighty Con, September 2nd, I believe it was, 2023. And from now until then, I'm just doing all these kind of random sketch cards, all for fun, things that I want to draw. Did a bunch of Muppets. There was an episode on Cartoonist by Night where I did Dr. Teeth digitally based off of pencils I set up for a sketch card. But here are just some examples of some of the sketch cards that I've pulled off. And I'm just going to keep doing a bunch of them and just going to throw them in a binder and put them on a table and put a price on them and see if anybody cares about them or not. And there's a Weird Al one trapped inside the sketch card. And here's the one I want to, this one I, more than any of them, I went less digital practice and just kind of jumped into the sketch card. I did a Michael Keaton Batman.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That one looks really good.
Leading up to the Flash movie that is at the time of this recording had just been out for a week, just about a week, maybe half a week. So basically what I did was when I had the idea, I went to the iPad and I just started sketching it out blue pencil style and got loose enough pencils to be like, all right, this is how I want it to look. And then I saved that just as a picture, as a screen grab, and would bring out the individual blank sketch cards and all my Ziploc bag of colored pencils and Sharpies and everything else. And I would just use my digital screen grab as my guide, just being like, okay, now I'm going to go in and map out my sketch card. Because rather than me spending the time erasing and really trying to figure it out on the actual physical canvas, I figured, hey, I'll just do it digitally just to get where I want it to be and then go from there. That way, once I move to the physical card, I can then go back on these episodes, much like what I'm doing with the current piece. And since I have the pencils ready to go, I'm always ready with something when we like, hey, spontaneous episode, hey, let's record today, let's record tomorrow. That way I have every sketch card I do, I will have pencils already done basically to cover myself for doing stuff on this episode and these kinds of episodes. Also, I can go through and this could be something I could maybe make a print of, I think, with doing a fun mashup of Little Shop of Horrors and Beetlejuice. Something that started as a gift for my friend Leslie. Now I can just be like, all right, this might be something that could appeal to wider audiences. Not sure if this has been done. I didn't want to Google it because if I Google a random mashup idea and I see that people did it already, I just lose interest and I've already seen how it's been done. And I'm like, I don't want to do it.
Right.
That's smart because I've had the same thought, like, oh, this is a great idea. Let me see if somebody's already done it.
Yeah.
And yeah, somebody's already, almost always already done it.
I'm trying. So I had that with, I have a Sweetums piece. I can show that one here when I get find it in my gallery. So I think it was the beginning of the year. That might have been the first thing I did in 2023. And I wanted to draw Sweetums from the Muppets, and I had an idea of to mash it up with Neil Diamond. And I did a search on that and just did a bunch of things that I didn't see anybody do it. So I'm like, all right. Because if somebody had already come up with that idea, I'd have just been like, okay, I don't need to do this weird mashup. But it's one of those that I think nobody actually came up with, which I'm not surprised, but also at the same time, it just like, I just wanted to make sure because it seemed like a term, a phrase that maybe would have existed. So I did Sweetums Caroline. And here is Sweetums from the Muppets in a classic Neil Diamond pose, and got the scarf on, and
Sweet Caroline.
Hey guys, wait for me.
Bah, bah.
We got background singers.
I
So-
do get.
But yeah, if I come up with a fun like mashup name idea, I have gone to Google a couple times. Not that that should stop me from just doing it just because I came up with it in the moment, but also there's part of me just being like, oh, okay, a million people have done this before. But I had one recently. I just can't think of what it was. Where I did Google it, it just shut me down completely. Where I'm just like, oh, that was a cool idea, and somebody else, did something, and I should have just went for it and been like, yeah, of course, multiple people can kind of come up with the same thing at the same time if they want, but so there are moments where I'm just like, I shouldn't Google just because I want to just go with my brain imagining at the moment. But, yep.
I finished this one. It's Dilsey for a young man named Leo.
Ooh.
I met Leo's mom at Tidewater Comic-Con. She got the first issue of Kid Slapshot, sent me a message, said that she has trouble finding things that Leo is interested in reading, but Leo has read that comic book, or had at that point read the comic book several times in one day, really enjoyed it, and that Dilsey is his favorite character. So I can't remember her mom's, his mom was tabling there, like cutie creepy or pretty creepy or something like that. It doesn't really matter, but I will send her a message that she'll be in this episode once the episode comes out, so that not only can Leo see his drawing being drawn as if he was at Tidewater Comic-Con with his mom, but by the time this airs, I'm sure he'll already have it. So I'm going to mail that off to Leo tomorrow.
Awesome.
So I'm glad you like the comic, Leo. You rock.
Hello, Leo. On behalf of Cartoonist by Night, we apologize for anything that you may have heard early on in the episode, but I think it was pretty good for the most part.
It's me.
I think we've been Leo safe today. for the
That's-
most part.
That's actually I'm probably going to remember that, and I think in future things, being like, "Is this safe for Leo?" That might just be a thing that we go back to. That might be our just overall phrase that inside.
We gotta keep this thing Leo safe.
Yeah, the Smartless podcast with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. I've been binging it. All three of them are amazing, and they often, if they talk about industry terms when it comes to Hollywood and filming and cameras and sets and scripts and read throughs, anything that relates to their acting jobs, they'll often say, they'll reference Tracy, who is Sean's sister in Wisconsin. They'll say, well, for Tracy in Wisconsin, this is what it means, rather than, somebody could just say, like, what's a read through, being like, well, this is what it means. So now I think we kind of have that with, is it safe for Leo?
I think this episode is certified Leo safe. Is definitely a term we should continue using.
Is it approved by the Leo comic code? Leo code?
The Leo's Mom Code Authority. But like I do in all of my comics, I put at the beginning, "Dear parents,"
Yep.
I put a disclaimer. Nobody knows what's suitable for your kids more than you. So Leo's mom, please watch before you show Leo. But we all think Leo's pretty darn awesome. So I think we're putting together a Leo friendly episode.
And not only when you do that warning for parents, it's also for Dan Parent of Archie Comics, right?
Yes. Dan Parent needs to make sure that it is suitable. What a sweet guy, though, Dan Parent.
Yeah.
He could not be nicer.
I've had maybe about a half a dozen interactions with him. Half of those where he didn't know me other than just an Archie fan at the table. The other half being, "Hey, Anthony, how's it going?" And then I'm like, "Hey, I didn't even say hi yet." So he's one of those that, yeah, extremely nice, super awesome, friendly. And I, will eventually reach out to him as we open it up for guests in future variations of this very drawing show. But yeah, he's high on the list that I will be reaching out. Unless he says no, then I'm going to cut this out. Say, no, we never tried.
Well, I mean, don't cut this out.
Yeah.
Guilt him into showing up. You gotta guilt him. He's such a nice guy. The guilt will work. He'll remember his mother guilting him into all kinds of things, like not hitting his siblings and.
Yeah.
Well, you having some secret messages that are also maybe parenting advice?
Both of my kids are in the room with me, and one of them noticed that I said that. The other one's like, "I'm not going to stop hitting my sibling. Forget that. It's too fun."
Once again, since I went on to share screen, I'm doing worse lines. I did them better when people weren't watching. I'm gonna turn that off so I can draw a good line here. Oh, look at that! It's perfect.
I'm going to have to log off soon, boys.
Good.
Understandable. We've gone.
Just kidding.
Wow, it's. I haven't looked at the time this whole time.
Somebody sent me a picture of something called a Milwaukee melt.
Yes.
And so ever since then, I've been craving patty melts. I've already sliced the sweet onion, and we bought some pre-formed hamburger patties, because whenever I make hamburger, like from fresh, it usually turns into like a rounded thing. versus the preformed ones, like the from the frozen food aisle, they stay flat. You know, I just felt like that would work better for a patty melt. So I'm gonna grill those up. We got some sourdough bread.
Oh yeah, that's the spot right there.
My daughter has an allergy. She's got a dairy allergy. So we're gonna margarine them, the sourdough bread, and margarine toast them or margarine grill them. I don't know how to say that. But
Sure.
so on hers, she's got this. Do you remember the name of the fakey cheese?
No.
It's like a mozzarella cheese shreds, but it's really just like oils. So on hers, it's going to be that. But the rest of us, we're good. We have Colby Jack and provolone. So we're going to double cheese it. And I wish I had thought to get grilled mushrooms, but I'm like, maybe not everybody in the house would like that, but I would like that personally. So the grilled onions, the cheese, the sourdough bread, and it's about 5 o'clock my time. So very soon the children are going to start getting mean.
Yeah, I think I'm whipping up some waffle fries with pulled pork and cheese and nacho cheese over it.
Ooh,
You gentlemen,
that sounds good.
You gentlemen will see the picture. I think I'll be in the mood yet because I gotta put up a Crimson episode yet, so I gotta do some stuff. So, but I think I'll still pull that off today. But yeah, that's
Are you? Do you crock pot the pork?
No, I go pretty pretty a cheap route, where the I think it's a Lloyd's brand, but it's just like like a microwave tub or something, and so yeah,
Okay.
I don't do any crock pot stuff. So
I gotcha. Yeah, that could take a lot of time planning
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I haven't gotten to the crock pot stage of my life yet. I don't think I'm at that. You know,
Oh man,
I still like the
we
simplicity and the convenience of the quick turnaround. I don't want to have to like watch this thing for 18 hours, or you don't have to. I don't want it sitting there for 18 hours and me just thinking about it. So,
dude, we got the crock pot, we got the Instapot, which is like a pressure cooker. We have an air fryer.
with the air fryer,
Most of those things we almost never use. The crock pot, if you can find at the grocery store a small pork shoulder, call it Boston butt at some grocery stores, but it's the shoulder of the pig. If you can find a small enough one to fit in the crock pot and just like put it on low, like when you wake up, and then 10 hours later, man, it is so good. Just like some apple cider vinegar and some what was that shoot, can't remember the seasoning. Is you get it, we get it in the Hispanic section. It's Goya makes it. Has some sort of like it's got garlic and salt and probably some cumin in it, but can't recall. But whatever it is, just that and some apple cider vinegar and 10 hours of sweating on itself in the crock pot. Oh, dude, so good.
a lot of mouth watering happening right now as we're talking. So
Yes.
I'm having Christmas.
Yes.
he's having
And
Christmas.
then there's our buddy Matt, who doesn't like food and yet consumes 6,000 calories a day and doesn't gain an ounce.
Well, it's a curse.
He's up. Yeah,
I hate you, Matt.
he's
I hate you so hard.
Barry Allen.
Can you zoom out, Matt, so I can see before I scoot out?
I was just gonna do that final round. So let's focus on Matt Rodgers here of what he put together.
That's what I got so far.
The audience will see it full screen.
That looks awesome, dude.
Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with his legs.
What if you know how Half just sort of has his little rocket booster leg?
Yeah, there
We
we
should
go.
do that.
That is a good idea. Or
And
I could just slap a logo there instead, you know,
yeah, put a bunch of
That
smoke.
looks great.
like Rob Liefeld, but instead of feet, it's entire lower half of body.
So that is
We
what
got to do an Uncle Rob episode sooner or later.
we do.
But
Have
I feel like we can't do creator episodes without doing Jack Kirby first. Otherwise, it would be disrespectful.
Who's
I'm
Jack
just
Kirby
noticing
again?
that your audio, it's while we can hear it, I think it's not matching up to your lips right now. Are you like have a ventriloquist act going on?
Me?
Okay, now you're good. Now you're good. It was off a little bit. Yep, Troy.
Oh, sorry.
Now you're good. I just wanted to make sure we could still hear you, but I was looking, just being like, he's really throwing his words around. So
Sorry about that.
I do have a, I have a
I know
quick
it's your
question
fault. I know
for
it's
Troy.
right.
Well,
So
where I'm filming right now, we live in a very old house, and we're on the opposite side. Like normally, I'm in the same room as the router and everything, but due to other circumstances beyond my control, can't be in there right now. But there is like a door like that thick, and because the house is old, like we did some work on some of the walls, and instead of being like frames with drywall and insulation between them, it's like 2x4 stucco, 2x4 stucco. I mean, this thing is solid. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if the picture is blurry and the voice is glitchy, because this place was built like they don't build things anymore.
now I think it all worked out pretty good. Like I said, I think it was only just that moment there, or maybe my eyes were just getting weird. As we close out this episode, we got to look at Matt Rodgers stuff. I have mine sitting here to kind of show where I'm leaving it. I will finish details and color this on my own, not on an episode, but just to kind of let people know where I'm stopping within this episode. Here it is, coming up in just a second or two. So yes, this is where my
Oh, awesome.
little shop of Beetlejuice, Beetle guys, is sitting. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with the pot that it was growing out of, and I kind of wanted to like make it cartoony in the sense of like not make sure it's even arcs and stuff like that from this side and that side. When I was doing it, I just ended up doing just like, no, I'll just make it uneven and just make it cartoony and have it be wild. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it, and I'll finish that at a different time. And if you have your stuff next to your Troy, if you just want to hold them up again, as we close out this episode, as we kind of show it off. And,
Sure. Got
yeah.
the Dilsey for Leo.
Oh yeah, Leo.
We all agree is awesome. And a slappy Hapstronaut. It's for the paper shredder.
No, sir, never do that. So
Here we go.
Well,
You guys ready?
it's 11 by 17, so I mean, it will make a whole lot of shredded paper.
or it'd be nice to package in if somebody, sends you an online order real quick. Let me get on my phone here and email something. There we have it.
No.
We just saw the signature, I think, just get thrown on there. He's working on that there. So yeah, I think that will do it for this 3 for all, as we call it. It was fun hanging out, fun drawing, and yeah, this will probably be out in maybe mid-July. So there's going to be a couple episodes out there. We have featured episodes of Oh Yeah Comics, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, We did one for Happy Astronaut, the brand new comic from Matt Fife and Matt Rodgers, which is coming to comic shops. Ask for it there, as well as keenspotshop.com. And then we will have just released the Archie episode, spotlighting Archie comics and hanging out. What's going to be fun about that is that we recorded that a long time ago, and I haven't, I don't rewatch the stuff until I edit it. So I'm actually excited to watch that episode again because it feels we've done so much stuff since then. So I'm excited. So
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
you're gonna see your own leveling up as you're looking at the different episodes. There, another guy that I knew online, can't remember his last name, Fernando. So I'll figure it out and I'll send him the link to this. But other than him, I've not seen somebody like level up their art as quickly
Ooh.
as you have. So you're doing really, really good. I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you.
So-
All I can say is that it's been exciting to do it. There's been no frustration with any of it. It's just been like, all right, what can I draw today? I'm going to draw this. I'm not going to, my reading hasn't happened as much as I wanted to. And I've slowly started to pave out time to make sure I do that. But it's been replaced by more fun things like drawing. So,
Well, I think having fun with it is the key.
Yeah.
If you find it frustrating, you don't continue.
Yeah.
And as long as you're having fun with it, then you'll continue. And it's impossible to get worse at something that you continue doing.
And everything that I do is literally just for things I want to do. There's, maybe it'll change in the future, but I like it at the point where I'm only drawing when I want to draw. I don't have a
Right.
project that's like, oh, I have to do this. I got to get to this. Like, I'm not in that position. It's all a hobby art, as I call it. So.
Right.
All right.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks again for the compliments. It was fun hanging out with everybody, especially with you, Troy, because it has been a minute since we got to do this. And, I see Rodgers all the time. So,
Before Troy goes, I did have one quick question for him.
Yes, sir.
Who's Jack Kirby?
Shut up, Matt.
Good
I'll
night.
fight you so hard.
Good night, everybody.